Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Jew. I'm the CalFresh Policy Bureau Chief. I'm covering for Becky Selva, who is the CalFresh Branch Chief. She is on vacation this week, so I'm covering for her for today. I'm happy to welcome you all to our guest speaker series. We welcome the CalFresh and Working Community Engagement Activities guest speaker webinar series. Again, this is a webinar series that is hosted by CDSS that will be offered every other month. We will feature guest speakers who will share community engagement opportunities that their organizations offer to support people subject to the ABOD time limit. So today's featured guest speaker is the California Community College's Chancellor's Office. Next slide, please, and I will hand it off to Juliana.
Thank you, Kathy. Hello, everyone. My name is Juliana Ochiyama, and I'm a policy analyst of the eBot policy team. So we'll start off with some logistics. So this webinar will be held in listen-only mode. There are two ways to listen, via computer or via telephone. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, if you have any questions that come up during the presentation, please use the Q&A feature in your meeting controls. You can find it at the bottom of your screen. It's the fourth icon from the left. At any point during the session, feel free to type your questions into the Q&A box, and our team will be monitoring and responding as we go. And at the end of the presentation, we will address as many questions as possible. Okay, next slide, please. Also, this webinar is being recorded. A copy of the recording and all presentation materials will be provided after the presentation. Next slide, please. So the CalFresh Working Committee Engagement Activities Guest Speaker Webinar Series will typically be held every other month from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. unless it is otherwise noted. The next webinar date will be September 30th. Please visit the CalFresh Working Committee Engagement Requirements webpage for webinar registration links, materials from previous sessions, and resources. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, before we dive in, let me walk you through our agenda for today. So we'll start with an overview of CalFresh covering able-bodied adults without dependents, ABOD time limit rules. Next, the California Community College Chancellor's Office will touch on some key topics on how the CCC system can support CalFresh recipients with meeting their working community engagement requirement, including providing a CCC system overview, CalWorks overview and collocation benefits, and presentations from college and county representatives. Also, this session will cover how on-campus co-located services boost students' access to public benefits, streamline verification and referral, strengthen campus community partnerships, and improve outcomes through coordinated support. And lastly, we will end with a Q&A session. As a reminder, please submit your questions in the Q&A box at any time during the presentation. Now, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Tanya from CDSS to provide an overview of the able-bodied adults without dependents time limit rules.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya Kaur. I'm a policy analyst with the CalFresh ABOD policy team. And next, we will talk about some ABOD time limit rules. Next slide, please. To be considered an ABOD, the individual must be between the ages of 18 to 64, have no dependents, and not qualify for an exemption from the ABOD time limit. ABOD time limit rules, when in effect, require the individual to work or participate in a qualifying work activity for 20 hours per week, average monthly for a total of 80 hours per month, in order to receive CalFresh benefits beyond the 3-month time limit. Please note that ABOD eligibility is limited to 3 full countable months within a 36-month period. Next slide, please. ABOTs meeting any of these criteria are exempt and therefore not subject to the time limit. This list has been updated due to the implementation of HR 1. An individual is exempt from ABOT if they are 1, exempt from work registration except for the age criteria, 2, age under 18 or over 64, 3, medically certified as physically or mentally unfit for work, 4, residing in a CalFresh household with a CalFresh household member under age 14, 5, pregnancy, 6, participating in an Office of Refugee Resettlement ORR training program, 7, and those who are Indian, Urban Indian, or California Indian as defined in the Indian Healthcare Improvement Act. An important note here for students is that they may be exempt under the CalFresh Work Registration Exemption, which is enrolled in any recognized school, training program, or institution of higher education on at least a half-time basis. Students enrolled at least half-time in an institution of higher education must meet student eligibility requirements. This means that if an individual is exempt because of this reason, they do not need to meet the ABOT time limit rule. Next slide, please. ABOTs can satisfy the work and community engagement requirement in a variety of ways. This can include employment, qualifying employment and training activities, WIOA programs, programs under Section 236 of the Trade Act of 1974, community service or volunteer work, and workfare. To satisfy the work and community engagement requirement, an ABOT must work 20 hours per week, average monthly for a total of 80 hours per month, and most activities can be combined to reach the hourly requirement. As a note, the hourly requirement for workfare is calculated differently, and other activities cannot be combined with workfare. Next slide, please. Now we will touch on opportunities within the community college system to meet the CalFresh work requirements. I will go ahead and pass it over to Deputy Chancellor Dr. Rowena from the California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office. Next slide, please.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Good morning, everyone, and thank you again for joining us. My name is Rowena Tomanang, and I'm the Deputy Chancellor for the California Community Colleges, representing the Chancellor's Office. Thank you again for attending today. This learning series has been meaningful for many reasons, and especially because it highlights the strong partnerships between CDSS and the CCC system. Our work reflects a shared commitment to coordination, positive outcomes for Californians, and making sure our efforts translate into real impact. We are living in a complex environment which call for resilience across systems. Meeting the moment together means staying responsive and working together with purpose and consistency. I'm particularly excited about our webinar topic of co-location for these same reasons. The practices my colleagues are about to share will hopefully inspire and create opportunities to strengthen how we all work day to day, delivering key services more effectively. So thank you again for being here, and I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation and to exploring how we can build on co-location to strengthen collaboration and improve impact. Next slide. I'd also like to highlight that I'm very excited that today, in terms of our guest speakers, we do have a great grouping of representatives representing the Chancellor's Office. We have 3 colleges. We also have 3 counties represented, 4 counties now. We have Sacramento, Santa Barbara, and we have Santa Clara represented. Next slide. And now I'm happy to hand it off to Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Nicole Alexander, and I'm the specialist that oversees the CalWORKS education program here at the Chancellor's office. I am pleased to share an overview of the California Community College system and how our colleges partner with counties in order to connect students to critical public benefits and support services, ultimately fostering student success. California community colleges serve as a critical entry point to higher education, workforce development, and economic mobility for millions of Californians. Today's presentation will highlight the value of partnerships between community colleges and county agencies, particularly through the lens of the CalWORKS program and co-located services. Next slide, please. The California Community Colleges system is the largest system of higher education in the nation. Our 116 colleges serve approximately 2.2 million students each year, representing diverse communities throughout the state. Our mission is centered on putting students first and ensuring educational opportunities are accessible to diverse communities throughout California. Next slide, please. Students attend our colleges for a variety of reasons, which include earning degrees, transferring to four-year institutions, gaining workforce skills, and pursuing career advancement. Our system serves traditional students, working adults, parents, foster youth, veterans, among many others seeking educational opportunity. Next slide, please. Vision 2030 serves as the system's strategic framework, and it outlines three central equity goals: equity in success, equity in access, and equity in support. These goals are the driving force behind the transformational change within the system, and they are intended to reduce and ultimately eliminate equity gaps experienced by historically underserved student populations. Next slide, please. Community colleges provide multiple educational pathways for students at different stages of their journey. Programs include dual enrollment opportunities for high school students, career education, certificates, and associate degrees. And some of our colleges offer bachelor's degrees in select fields. Whether a student plans to transfer to a university or enter the workforce directly, community colleges provide a pathway forward. Next slide, please. Each year, large numbers of students successfully transfer to a UC, CSU, or other higher education institution. Our career education programs are closely aligned with industry needs, helping students to gain in-demand skills and enter the workforce prepared for success, ultimately supporting long-term earning potential and economic mobility. Next slide, please. In addition to transforming lives, community colleges generate significant returns for students, communities, and taxpayers. For every dollar invested by students, the average future earnings increases by approximately $13. During fiscal year 23-24, the system contributed approximately $173 billion in added income and supported roughly 1.7 million jobs statewide. These figures underscore the importance of supporting educational attainment as part of broader economic mobility strategies. Next slide, please. So now this section shifts our focus to the specific supports that community colleges provide to students and the value of strong partnerships between colleges and counties. Economic mobility cannot be achieved through education alone or benefits alone. It requires intentional alignment of both systems. Student success often depends on addressing both educational and basic needs challenges. Next slide, please. Partnerships between colleges and counties are a critical part of the student support ecosystem. Approximately 84% of California community colleges partner with county agencies or community-based organizations to help students access resources. Many colleges co-locate county staff who assist students with benefits such as CalFresh, Medi-Cal, and CalWORKS cash aid resources. By bringing services closer to students, Colleges can improve awareness, access, and utilization of all available resources. Next slide, please. So while community colleges offer a broad network of student support programs, as you can see listed here on the slide, which just includes some of our many programs, today we are focusing on the CalWORKs education program. Next slide, please. The CalWORKs education program is designed to support families as they pursue education and workforce preparation. The program goal is to help participants build skills, increase stability, and move toward economic mobility. A key strength of the program is the partnership between county agencies and community colleges. And this program also helps participants meet welfare to work requirements while progressing through educational and career goals. Next slide, please. CalWORK students receive a range of individualized supports that help them succeed both in and outside of the classroom. Services include case management, academic counseling, educational planning, and assistance with course selection. The program also provides work-study opportunities, which provide valuable employment experience while students attend school. Students are also connected to critical resources such as food assistance, financial aid, and other basic needs services. These supports are intended to help reduce barriers that can often interfere with educational success. Next slide, please. One of the biggest advantages of co-located services is that it reduces barriers for students by bringing supports together in one location. Instead of traveling between college and county offices, students can access multiple services on campus, saving time and reducing transportation challenges. Co-location also streamlines service delivery by creating a more coordinated approach between college and county staff. When services are aligned, students spend less time navigating systems and more time focusing on their educational and career goals. Ultimately, this creates a more seamless and student-centered experience. And most importantly, these partnerships build trust and create a stronger network of support for students and their families. Next slide, please. And now we'll hear directly from colleges and counties that have successfully built this type of partnership. At this time, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Brianne Holland and Jasmine Perigo, representing the Los Rios Community College District and Sacramento County, respectively.
Thank you, Nicole. It's so nice to be here. I am Brianne Holland. I'm the director for CalWORKs at American River College and for Los Rios Community College District. And Jasmine?
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having us. My name's Jasmine Perigo. I work for Sacramento County Department of Human Assistance, and I work in our policy team covering our Welfare to Work program. So happy to be here with Brianne and you all.
Next slide, please. So Jasmine and I work very closely together, and we have continued to build a relationship between Los Rios and particularly Sacramento County. We utilize a partnership model that reduces barriers, improves collaboration, and increases student success by combining county, campus, and involving our students.
Yeah, thank you, Brianne. And so hopefully through this presentation, we'll get to cover some regional context for you all and really highlight the partnership of the co-location, the best practices, and the benefits not only to the people we serve, the parenting students, and the greater community, and just that collaboration and how it works. So next slide, please.
We have co-located county partners at 3 of our 4 colleges: American River College, Cosumnes River College, and Sacramento City College. Currently, we do not have any co-located county workers at Folsom. There just is not. We don't have the caseload. Does not currently support co-location at this time for Folsom, but it's something that we are always open to doing. When we look at, sorry, go ahead, Jasmine.
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, and with the population, we wanted to highlight, the Sacramento region, while though it is urban, suburban, we also have noted there's been an influx of a large refugee and immigrant populations that we're serving, not only campus, but in talk with Brianna, it kind of mirrors what we're seeing at the county level as well.
And looking at the context of our colleges are all commuter campuses with no on-campus housing. And our district is approximately 70% low-income students, which again mirrors the regional population or demographics of the population. Next slide, please. So this is a data grab from Los Rios in particular. I just wanted to share some statistics about our students within the Los Rios Community College District. You can see the breakdown of our race and ethnicity, the age of our students, and the socioeconomic status, which is fairly common actually across the state. There is a lot of diversity, particularly in the race and ethnicity area, but in terms of age and socioeconomic status, it tends to be very similar across the state. And as you can see, we have the majority of our students are either low income or below the poverty level, or very, very borderline on that middle income. So we wanted to highlight that we've observed lower enrollments among certain race and ethnic groups. Nearly 1/3 of all of our Los Rios students identify as white, but we do want to note that that can include a large portion of our immigrant and refugee population. And then the remainder, and then 1/3 of our population identify as Hispanic and Latino, but the remainder of the population consists of other race and ethnicities such as Asian, African American, multi-race, and Native American. Again, more than half of our students are between 18 to 24, and over 25% are 25 to 39 years old. And then we have at least, well, like I said, almost half, as you can see from the graphic, are either low income or below the poverty line. When we represent that 70% number, that includes that there is a very low middle income that is borderline that would, or low middle that would, is right on the edge there of being low income, particularly given the cost of living in our area. Next slide, please.
And then now I kind of wanted to touch on the MOU that our county established with Los Rios Community College District. I was looking back, I think it's been about 15 years, Brianne, so I think that was, something to celebrate. And it was important to note that we did have initially with this partnership a dedicated admin support from Los Rios Community College District before it transitioned to Brianne. So that was something key with having someone to be the liaison between the campus and to connect with the county. And I'll hand it back to Brianne.
Yes, originally we had a faculty-based position at our district office that helped implement this relationship about 15 years ago and get our co-location and some other really great collaborations between us and Sacramento County off the ground. And then we have found that with the 4 colleges, it did not warrant having a full-time position. So that responsibility was transitioned into my role in terms of overseeing and collaborating with our county partners and maintaining and growing these relationships.
Right. Yeah. And one part that, helped with the co-location, as Brianne mentioned, is having space for dedicated welfare to work staff to be located and work side by side with the campus support team. So that was really important.
Yes. So at each of our campuses, our DHA partners have their own space. At ARC in particular, we actually have 3 bureaus assisting customers / students. And they actually rotate throughout the week. So we have a different bureau on different days. And then at our other campuses, the workers have dedicated space there. And we just actually found out that for one of our campuses, our DHA partner will be there full time. That will be their new permanent space for seeing all of their caseload and customers. And one thing I do want to note is that while we are co-located and the focus is on the customers or students that are in the program, our DHA workers often see customers that are not necessarily or enrolled in classes or not necessarily part of their school caseload, which we think is great because that gives us an opportunity for some outreach for additional potential additional students.
And additionally, having that co-location, it helps to reduce the transportation need because they're on campus and can meet with their case manager or someone from our department that's there, and working collaboratively with the campus team to schedule them for appointment and meet them where they're at, and really reducing that communication barrier to have to call or come into our county. So it really is that convenient location. Next slide. And just highlighting some of the best practices that we already pointed out earlier, having dedicated points of contacts both on the county and college side really helps to maintain that communication and really support the mutual participants that we're helping as they navigate this educational pathway.
Yep.
And then Brianne will talk more about some of our other pieces we do.
Yep. We also host monthly collaboration meetings with each of our campuses and the supervisors and county workers that are related to those campuses. So different bureaus serve different of our campuses. So we hold monthly meetings to talk through trends we're seeing, making sure that in this fast-paced changing of paperwork and requirements and laws, that we're keeping up with those and how we're best serving our mutual students and customers in that way. And those collaboration meetings also really give us a way of connecting and making sure that we are staying on top of the needs of our students, but also our partnership needs.
Definitely. Yeah, and just, I do want to be mindful of time too, but just kind of some of the things on the slide are really important to call out. Obviously, integrating our staff into their staff meetings really helps to support. And if that coordinated case management, we can refer them to needed services that support them not only in the educational pathway, but also outside of the campus and making sure we're helping them to focus on their educational goals.
And then one thing that we implemented a couple years ago, it has been each semester we host an all campus training. So we bring in all of our campus employees for CalWorks. We invite partners from EOPNS and CARE programs who also do collaborate with the Sacramento County. We bring in Sacramento County, and this coming term, we're going to be inviting some other counties to join us as well. So doing one big training, networking meeting per semester has really been beneficial. In fact, we had a great one. I know, trying to be mindful of time. We had a great one last term that included our job club, which used to be a bad word in our minds and is now actually a great word in our minds. So it really opens up some opportunities for learning and expansion and support. Next slide, please.
And just to kind of wrap this slide together, key takeaway we want to highlight is everyone wins when we all work together in one system.
And it looks like perhaps Jasmine froze. So I will continue to talk about this. We have the holistic support for our participants and families. It's very easy access when we are all working together, both with our college program and with our county partners. There's a lot of stronger communication with campus staff. We're readily interacting with each other for every need that our students have.
To support our students. So just that we want to make.
Okay. It really does improve our compliance and engagement for our students and helps us make sure that we are helping them to be compliant and stay engaged in both the programs and their county work. And it's essentially one coordinated network of services. So we have aligned ourselves to be pretty seamless with each other. And it almost looks like, oh, there she is. Okay.
Sorry, I got disconnected for a second. Technology. Yeah, so next slide, we kind of cover some piece here. One area that we do offer for our partnership is a read-only access to our CalSAWS system that we use for benefits. It really helps with the eligibility determinations and making sure the students qualify for CalWorks support services. And if not, sometimes it could be triaged to be offered some other service or program offered on campus. So they don't leave without any kind of support. So I think that's something important to highlight there. Next slide. All right. And here we want to talk about This great diagram. I think Brianne had found it before. We used it in a prior presentation together. So on the bottom left, I think if you kind of look at that, all the pieces we've been talking about, we can support identifying our students. If there's any barriers or things that might get in the way of their educational pathway, that's really where we can help to support them, meet them where they're at. So really that student-centered or student-focused service delivery.
And going in, looking at the communication and information sharing. So the graphic, why it's really fun is all of these things that are weighted potentially against student success, work and other commitments, physical and mental health, social support and family. We're turning those around and making them a positive to bring in that academic success for our students. We do that by communication and information sharing. Again, Jasmine and I are in communication pretty much weekly, and ad hoc as needed for anything. We create a space where our students feel comfortable coming to either the program or the county. It's inviting, and it helps them feel like they're getting everything they need when they're there, and that it's a safe space to be in. And we're really preparing students for that transfer process to a four-year college, or into a vocation, or whatever their goal is. We give them all of the tools by working together to really be successful in whatever that goal is. Next slide, please. We're a minute over. So we're going to try and wrap this up as quickly as possible. But again, that results in impact. What we see is higher retention and persistence, both at the college and at the county. We see increased graduation and transfer. I did want to highlight, we have a parent-to-parent mentoring program, which is our students, long-term students, parent mentoring, or providing support for our other students, which again creates that community and network for our students of support. And Jasmine?
Yeah, and I think that again, like we talked about, that collaboration on site can really help to support any of our participants should they have complex situations arise. And then just that less of the runaround, really faster resolution, that warm handoff versus kind of ping-ponging them. So just that integrated services helps to really improve the outcomes of the mutual students we serve. So thank you so much for hearing us out today, and feel free to reach out at the end when you have our contact information.
Yep. And next up is our friends from Allen Hancock.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Edwin Hodges, and I am the EOPS coordinator at Allen Hancock College, responsible for primarily the parenting program. So that would be the CalWorks program and also the EOPS Care. So these are single parent students that are participating as full-time students in EOPS. And before we get started on telling you about our history here in Santa Barbara, I'm going to introduce one of our division chiefs, Frank Mejia, and he will give you an overview of the history of how this collaboration started with Allen Hancock College, and it does go back quite a ways. So with that, Frank.
Thank you, Edwin. It is always a pleasure to partner with Allen Hancock College, which we've been doing for a ton of years. As he mentioned, my name is Frank Mejia. I manage CalWorks, employment services, and a variety of other eligibility programs for the County of Santa Barbara Social Services. Joining me today is Esther Herrera, who's our Welfare to Work analyst, and Sandy Gomez, who is a supervisor over Welfare to Work, where we have our co-located Welfare to Work staff. And we've been at this collaboration for years, and I just want to emphasize to all the people in the audience the importance of collaboration. Before CalWorks even existed, we had the old AFTC and GAIN program, and we had a strong partnership with them then. And we would talk about our mutual clients. We had a contract back then. Thankfully, welfare reform came along, and there were different funding streams for community colleges to support CalWorks. And so though we ended our contracts because now, Hancock was getting their own direct funding to help support our mutual students, we have evolved over the years, whether it was opening up our county's one-stop center, which is our county's America's Job Center of California, where we're co-located there as well, but building and enforcing that partnership and mutual love and respect for the clients that we serve and seeing their success and mitigating barriers. So we've been at it for quite some time. I, as manager, was attending a County Welfare Directors Association annual conference and heard a group of students from community colleges throughout the state telling us about their road to success and how they overcame the various obstacles, both on campus and at home. And we had an opportunity to hear from them and then tell us what could make things better for you to be successful as a student. And it really touched at my heartstrings because I heard someone say, it's so difficult. I have all these things that I need to do at the county welfare office for my welfare to work. And then I have all the stuff that I need to do for school. Plus I got kids in childcare and I got to be running around between dropping them off at childcare or going back to the office, see my welfare to worker to get bus passes so that I can get on the bus and get to class. It would be so great if everyone was together. And so at that time, Hancock College was expanding and they were moving into a bigger center. And the EOPS director slash CalWorks coordinator wears different hats. I came back and I said, "Do you have room at your location where you're moving into your new digs, or maybe I can get a worker there for you because I heard this." And the rest was history. We started an MOU. We have since, for now, I'm going to say probably over 12 years, had a career employment specialist, a welfare to work staff person who's been on campus, who goes there and just has really bridged that and helped remove some obstacles for the clients that we're mutually serving. I will be turning it over to back to Edwin and to Esther to talk about all the nuts and bolts, kind of similar to what you heard from the prior presenters about how it's been going for us. Edwin?
Thank you, Frank. Now I'd like to introduce Esther Herrera, and she's an analyst with Santa Barbara County Department of Social Services. And a little history, Esther and I have a little history. Prior to coming to Hancock 9 years ago, I did work for the County of Santa Barbara as a welfare to work caseworker for about 16 months. And my mentor and trainer was Esther. So I have a unique perspective working on both the county side as well as the community college side when it comes to moving our students forward. With that, I'd like to bring on Esther, and she can give you a little bit of information about how we're working together here in Santa Barbara County. Esther?
Good morning, everybody. And we got an alert. We have a couple of minutes left, so I'll talk quick so that I can pass it to Sandy. So our collaboration expands beyond just referring clients and providing verification of benefits. We actually do a lot more collaboration at a higher level as well, including attending meetings such as advisory meetings. We have a couple of times a year where we have a CES, which is our employment services staff meeting, where we invite Hancock to come over to our office so they can share what are some of the new things that are happening out there. Additionally, Hancock will invite us over to their campus to have a yearly meeting where we all get together in a room and talk about what's happening, what are the new things. It also gives us the opportunity for process improvement to see where we may be lacking to better serve the students. So we have a really strong partnership with Hancock. Additionally, our executive and our management team are strongly supportive of the partnership. So that really helps us in that collaboration. When we have policy changes, I immediately will notify Edwin, hey, we have this policy change that may be affecting our mutual clients. And that helps us to better support the clients and see what additional services we can give them. Next slide, please. So again, we do attend the conferences yearly with the California community colleges that are presented in different areas of the state. We also attend the advisory committee meetings along with having our yearly meeting. And I think Frank mentioned at the beginning, Hancock is part of our partners at our one-stop shop, where we are now even having GED preparation classes that Hancock will sponsor for us here. I'm going to pass it to Sandy to talk a little bit more about that on-site support.
Good morning. I know we only have like 30 seconds left. So I'm supervising two of our staff members that are co-located at the Hancock campus. Similar to Sacramento County, we try to model the CalWorks 2.0, where we're meeting the clients where they're at. So Allen Hancock provides us a space and we provide the workers. So I have two workers that are on site 3 days a week, and pretty much they take their laptop, and clients, they meet the students and they assist them with anything that is needed, educated related. Next slide, please. And it's also convenient for the students. Our staff also assists the clients with Benefits Cal. If they have basic eligibility questions, they're there to support the students and our clients as well. And they're also able to conduct the OCATs in a more private setting for the students that need their OCAT appraisal. That way they don't have to leave campus, they can just go on site. And it works really well. The staff and the students seem to like it, and I hope other counties can continue doing the same. And that's it. Thank you.
All right. Those were wonderful. I love being in great company with other colleges and counties who, have the same vision and the same goals. So my name's Annette Gutierrez. I'm the Director of Basic Needs and Success here at Gavilan College. I think you can do next slide. Perfect. And I'm here with my partner, Haji. You want to introduce yourself, Haji?
Yeah, my name's Haji Hill. I'm a management analyst at County of Santa Clara, supporting the community colleges, all 7 across the county.
Awesome. Next slide. So just wanted to give kind of an overview of where Gavilan is. We're one of 7 community colleges in Santa Clara County. And we are at the most southern tip of Santa Clara County, and we serve actually 2 counties, San Benito and Santa Clara County primarily. And I say this because I think that our partnership with the county with respect to having an EC on site is unique to the 7 colleges. It works really well for us because we have a South County office and we do a lot of case management directly with that office. The other colleges are wonderful and work really closely with the county, just at a different level. Because they're sharing, a number of different units with their students. So it just kind of works a little bit differently for them. Next slide. But to kind of like what everyone else has said, I don't want to repeat a lot of what other folks said, but I thought that it is unique. I think that we have such a long lasting formal and informal partnership with the county. This is specific to our fiscal contracts, but we have had an informal relationship with the county since I believe 1997.
I think 1987, even actually, with both the
Oh,
community colleges and the adult ed throughout the county. I believe the records get muddy way back, but we've been trying. Yeah.
yeah. So, Haji, do you want to speak to like just the consortium and what
Yeah,
we do?
yeah. So we meet monthly. We make sure that we're, communicating any changes that may affect them. They're bringing concerns to us. I mean, I'm always available as an intermediary. I'm willing to step in or help to bring client situations to the attention of workers where needed. But in addition to just conveying information, we also, I mean, as Matt said, we have these fiscal contracts. So every year we go over those and make sure that any changes, both sides have an opportunity to speak to their priorities and any changes and their needs, so that there's definitely a dialogue at all levels of that agreement.
Definitely. And so our contract and our relationship and our partnership led to us having an EC on site. Next slide. And EC is employment counselor. That's what Santa Clara County calls their workers. And so, again, some of this has already been touched on. So, folks that are here, obviously, this is a CalFresh webinar. And I think it is important to note that we're talking about CalWorks. And so, where's the crossover? I think the crossover for me in my role as a director of basic needs, kind of tying in basic needs, right? Tying in the Alpi, tying in the fact that we know that individuals are facing food insecurity at staggering rates. The most recent research that just happened in 2025 among 102 community colleges, 77,000 students were surveyed. 46% of students reported being food insecure. And this number has stayed steady since the last several research or several surveys that have been conducted by Real College Survey. So obviously the problem is not going away, right? But we have a solution. CalFresh is part of that solution. CDSS and all of us here are part of that solution. And I think we have a really unique opportunity to support our students in an equitable way. And so again, we spoke to this. These are all the things that that coming together create. Improving access, enhanced communication and collaboration. I heard folks earlier talk about the comprehensive case management and success and retention, the efficiency, right? The lack of having someone on site does sometimes create, phone tag or ping ponging or miscommunications even, right? And so having someone on site really does help with that streamlined communication and making sure that students get served in real time. And then we know the college system really well, but the county knows the county system really well. And so together we bring together, I think, a lot more resources to better support our students together versus doing it alone. And those are just some of the things I wanted to highlight from this slide. Haji, did you want to highlight anything further?
I mean, you really covered it. Yeah. I mean, it's about, like you said, it's about mutual support and us being able to do the things that we're good at so that everything gets done at a higher level. Yeah, completely agree.
Awesome. Next slide. So I really wanted to spend more time on this component. I have been at Gavilan College for 21 years. And CalWorks has been my primary program of focus for the entire 21 years. It's been, over the last maybe 10 years that we've brought on Fresh Success, and I inherited Basic Needs and our Rising Scholars program. But there's so much overlap, and there's so many lessons learned with working with the county in a number of different capacities. And one of them is ensuring that we have that shared goal and objective. And I took a look at CDSS's website and I read their mission statement, and it is so much in line with the Chancellor's office and the work that we do here at community colleges. It speaks to equity and access. And so I think at, the highest level, we already have that shared goal and those objectives. So how can that trickle down to each county, right? Was it 56? I forget how many counties there are. How can that same message trickle down? It's really important, right, to establish those roles and responsibilities up front. Who's going to do what? What's that going to look like? And what are the communication protocols? When leadership changes, when staff changes, having all of these things documented is really important. And I speak from personal experience. We recently had kind of a turnover of staff temporarily. Communication barriers kind of fell through the cracks. And so we took a pause. We took a pause in our EC on site. We're like, okay, we need to recalibrate. We need to come together. We need to, revisit all the things that were really assumptions and like best practices and kind of norms, but not things that were in black and white set in stone, right? And so we're doing that now. And so I say that because this isn't a perfect process. It's, we're dealing with human beings. This isn't a perfect process. We have two very complicated layered systems. And so it's important to acknowledge that up front and to be clear, right, about what is realistic, what can each of us bring to the table, and then how do we accomplish that to best serve the student. And of course, it's really important to have, confidentiality and information sharing protocols and processes. I think the colleges and the counties are really great at this component. And so that should be, something simple, but it is important, right? We have to follow those different laws and regulations around confidentiality. And then this was already talked about in terms of physical space. It is really important. I know space is not a luxury on our campuses often. And so finding that, private dedicated space where a worker can be on site, can have that privacy, maybe access to a phone, obviously Wi-Fi, things like that. So really figuring out how you can make that work and making sure that you're co-located. It doesn't make sense to have someone, across campus. That's going to be a challenge and a barrier. And then continuous improvement is really important. So always doing those check-ins, whether it's quarterly, whether it's monthly, whether it's annually, but having those check-ins. And then cross-training and professional development. That might sound a little strange, but I think we heard earlier that counties, are invited to our annual conference. But I know Gavilan kind of goes beyond that, and so does Santa Clara County. The county, when they host professional development that is applicable to the colleges, they invite us, they include us, and vice versa. So things around, I know we've invited folks around our Latinx parenting workshops and maybe mental health, first aid. We brought them to our own college orientations. And Haji, I'd love for you to speak about things that the county has done to bring folks to the campuses as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with several of the colleges throughout the area where we're trying to set up more of these, like sort of workshops at the college campuses where RECs can come out in a group. Obviously not all of them at once because we have services to maintain in the meantime, but even just some staggered across several events for the different colleges so that they can go out and actually see these programs and experience the space a little bit and understand like what it is they're referring their clients to. So it's not just a catalog or a grid of classes that are offered that they're and an email that they're sending. They're having an understanding of, look, this is a great experience for their clients, and it's more of an experiential understanding as opposed to just on paper. And then just to touch on one other item that you mentioned, Annette, I think that when those communication breakdowns do happen, view that as an opportunity. This is a chance for these groups to get in the room to discuss what it is that they're trying to accomplish, what they share in common, and little things change over time. And of course, we all just do our best to get by and do what we need to do to get the job done. But when you need to, this is a great opportunity to come together and strengthen that relationship uh,
Yeah.
in a meaningful way. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Haji, and thank you, CDSS and the Chancellor's Office for putting this on. I really do think we have a really awesome opportunity to co-locate and further our partnership and collaboration to increase student access to CalFresh. So thank you so much, and I'll hand it over to CDSS.
Okay, thank you so much. We will now be answering some of the questions that were submitted throughout the webinar. If you still have any questions, please feel free to drop in the Q&A box and our team will be responding to it. So, okay, let's go ahead and move to the questions. Okay, so if it is a couple, husband and wife is pregnant, would both be exempt from ABOT time limit? So for this question, only the wife would be eligible to receive the pregnancy exemption. Okay, and next question. Would a customer who recently graduated from law school who's now enrolled in a bar exam review course that is 60 hours per week be qualified for the student work registration exemption? The customer has supplied proof, though the course is not through a UC, CSU, or CCC. It's a private course. So for this question, a student in the household enrolled at least half time in any recognized school training program or institution of higher education for meets student eligibility requirements is exempt from work registration. So to be a qualifying school, the bar exam review course must be a business, technical, trade, or vocational school that requires a high school diploma or equivalent, or a regular curriculum in a college that offers degree programs. Okay, and next question. If the student is enrolled less than half time in an institute of higher education, can any of their school hours count towards meeting the ABOT hours/requirement? So yes, if a student's enrolled less than half time and it's not a CalFresh student exempt from work registration, they may be an ABOD. If that ABOD is attending school as part of an employment and training program, including a local program that increases employability, LPIE, their classroom hours can count toward meeting their ABOT work and community engagement hours. Okay, see my Q&A box refreshing right now. Okay, is there anyone here who leads the Los Angeles Community Colleges group and could share their email? I see that Nicole add her email here. Thank you so much. What are the numbers needed and how big of space is required for a co-location for CalFresh? Is the co-location for CalFresh only in Sacramento County? So currently with Los Rios, they have CalWorks workers co-located at our campuses. I believe we also have a CalFresh representative that spends time on campus in a shared space periodically. Okay, I'll just read one more question before I can pass it over to Tanya so she can give us a brief overview of our resources. So, is there a practice in place or talk of automated data share information from the community colleges to county agencies for the sake of ABOT hours verification specifically? So for this question, this data is something CDS is interested in the purpose of CalFresh ABOT hours verification. We'll be visiting the feasibility and data sharing needs to see how we can embed this into CalSOS in the future. All right, I see there are a couple more questions. If you have any other questions, please feel free to drop in the Q&A box or feel free to also email us. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Tanya now so she can provide us an overview of our resources. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Juliana. We have a list of resources that we will be sharing with you all in just a moment. As a reminder, you will all be receiving a copy of the recording and the presentation materials after the webinar today. Next slide, please. We have included some ABOT time limit resources here for your reference. These resources contain more detail about the information shared with you all today, so please feel free to review these resources. They will be included in your presentation materials as well. Now I will hand it over to Kathy, who will provide next steps and close out today's webinar. Next slide, please.
Thanks, Tanya. I don't know what happened to my video. I can't see myself. So I just want to take a few minutes to give a quick overview of this webinar series one more time. So this presentation is the second part of our CalFresh Work and Community Engagement Activities guest speaker webinar series. This series will feature guest speakers who will share community engagement opportunities that their organizations offer to support people who are subject to the ABOD time limit. All of the sessions are held over Zoom from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon, and they do require registration in advance. So please reach out to us at the email on the screen if you are interested in attending or have not had the chance to register yet. I don't see the email on the screen, but I believe it's calfreshpolicy@dss.ca.gov. On September 30th, we will have our third session with the California Food Banks as our featured guest speaker, sharing the variety of ways and how food banks can support CalFresh recipients with the ABOD time limit. And then finally, there is a quick one-question survey at the end of today's webinar. We would like to hear your thoughts and feedback about the next guest speaker for this webinar series. You will be automatically directed to the survey once the webinar ends. And next slide. All right, so again, thank you so much everyone for taking the time out of your day to listen in to today's featured guest speaker, the California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office Part 2 webinar. We hope that you found this presentation helpful. You will receive an email with the link to the recording and a copy of today's presentation materials. And again, if you have any additional questions, please send your questions to the CalFresh Policy email address, which is on the screen right now. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.